Akhilesh, hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Please share the profile of the sir.
Give me a minute, sir.
आवाज आ रहा है।
Amit, there is a disturbance. Amit, Akhilesh, Akhilesh, there is a lot of disturbance. Akhilesh.
Now it is okay, sir.
Okay, now it's okay. Okay. Ask everybody to mute.
Now it is okay, sir. Yes, sir. VC sir, should I start the program?
You can start the program.
Right, sir. Very good morning, all of you guys, all of our audiences. Today is the series 6, and the topic of the discussion is the strategic planning through the digital infrastructure. And for the today's our series is speaker is Mr. Sarajit Jha. Mr. Sarajit Jha, he is the Chief Business Transformation and the Digital Solution from Tata Steel, based out of the Jamshedpur. Prior to this, he was a Chief Corporate Strategy, and Mr. Sarajit leads the Tata Steel digital transformation initiatives. He has 2 decades of general management experience in the TAS, means Tata Institute Service leadership development cadre of the $100 billion Tata Group in technology, international business development, brand strategy, turnaround strategy, business vertical creations, joint ventures, startups, merger and acquisitions, delivery center, and delivery model optimization. Mr. Sarajit is a regular speaker in many forums like CII, NASSCOM, etc. He has been featured in the Business Today 25 hottest executive under age 40. Tata BSS, a top 3 business process management firm in India, won the prestigious Rajiv Gandhi National Quality Award for the large-scale service enterprise under his vibrant leadership. A past winner of the national contest for the young managers, Mr. Sarajit was nominated to the Thora conference in Malaysia to present a strategy of Malaysia's growth. And besides this, he has a vast experience about the market and the strategy. As we know that strategy is very important right now in the present scenario. You know that traditional right now market is demanding more innovative strategy because our instruments has been changed. Now we are using the vibrant digital instrument for the market. In the light of this, today we have invited our our eminent speaker to express his views regarding. Please, sir. Please welcome, sir.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Mr. Muddu. Thank you, everybody present. If I'm audible, then I'll start off. And first of all, we live in very uncertain times, and you must have heard that from a number of speakers besides me. And it's, I can only say that I consider myself very lucky and fortunate that I am being able to make this presentation. As much as I consider yourself very lucky and fortunate that you're being able to be present here. because the very fact that you're on this medium and the very fact that we are discussing a topic like strategy shows that we're probably in the 0.01 percentile of the world. And that's a very, very, good place to be in. But it also has its own sets of accountability and responsibility that comes with the privilege and the territory. So once again, thank you, and we can begin with our talk. Can I have the agenda slide put up, please? So let me first take you very shortly through what we are going to cover today. The first thing we will cover is a bit of business transformation in a digital era, which means that Tata Steel as a company, and I personally, we don't believe in digital transformation. We believe in business transformation, which companies have been doing for over 100 years. And it's just that we live in a digital era today. So we like to believe it is a business transformation in a digital era. Tomorrow, it could be a sustainability era as it started. It could be something else. But businesses will have to transform. And by transformation, just to set this right, our philosophy is that transformation, the best example is, the way a butterfly a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. So one of the things that we look at is it's a stage-wise process. It should be broken into very simple parts. And I'm very fond of saying that if you tell a caterpillar that you'll transform into a butterfly, it'll probably freeze and never transform into one. So, but if you tell them the steps, first become a cocoon and then begin to sleep. Borrow in Hindi, you say, cocoon ban ke sukoon se so jao. And then you kind of say that, okay, now you hang in there and stay there for a while. Then you say, okay, now you unwound yourself. Then check your wings, flap them, then see you fly. So, when you kind of want to do a transformation, you need to be able to break it down into these small parts. Because as our ex-chairman, Mr. Ratan Tata says, if you want to run fast, you run alone. But if you want to run far, then you have to take everybody along with you. So that's the first thing, that there is a concept called business transformation. And in that business transformation, we need to go to the first slide, please. We are showing the, thank you. So I just covered on the business transformation in the digital era. The second part we will cover is the whole part about where to play and how to win. Because every minute you're taking that decision. For example, if you're listening to this podcast, you have come, or webinar, you have come here and you have taken a decision to, listen to this. So you've made a decision on the where to play. The how to win, of course, will be how much attention you give, how well I'm able to communicate some of the things, how well you're able to receive that, and what you do with it subsequently. The evolving digital script. Script is an acronym that we use for digital. I'll expand on that as we come over. We'll take the example of Ashiana, which is a vertical market that Tata Steel has created. And we were very proud that before the lockdown happened, we had a line of sight to sell about 500 crores on that platform this year. And finally, I have a 9S framework for managing innovation, which I'll share with you. So if there's anything else that anybody wants to cover, we can do it in the Q&A session. So next slide, please. So it was almost 4 years ago, or rather 5 years ago, when we started our digital transformation or business transformation in a digital era. I was then the chief of corporate strategy in Tata Steel. And I had just come from leading a technology company for about over 2 years. And I asked myself that the future does belong to technology, and how are we doing on digital technology? And at that time, a checklist also came from the group chairman's office. And I ticked off, there were 10 questions in it, and my answers to 9 of those were no. And answer to 1 was maybe. And those were questions like, do you have a digital strategy? Answer is no. Do you have the capabilities to do a digital transformation? Answer is no. Have you begun your digital transformation journey? Answer is no. So we said as Tata Steel, well, this is really not acceptable, and we must do something about it. And what we did is we looked at what was the wise people saying. So these are the slide that you see in front of you right now are 4 things that the top 4 strategy consultants in the world were saying. So one of them was saying that, look, 34% of the firms are unlocking efficiency, 43% are driving new sources of growth, only 13% are doing both. And only companies that are working on both sides of the hourglass. Think of an hourglass, if you know one, a sand clock. There is a top part, which is, think of it as market facing activities. And there is a bottom part of it, and think of it as those activities which are all there to, cater to the market facing activities, i.e. your supply chain, operations, etc. So companies were working on one on the other. Very few companies were working on both. Another consultant was saying that, look, 5% of the operating expenses need to be spent on digital, 10% of the workforce needs to be digital, and digital needs to be embedded in both business and operations, which means that you have to put your money where your mouth is and you need to invest top dollar. Digital does not come free. Third consultant was saying that, look, there is all the gains are going to happen from data. The reason is that you have the Internet of Things. You may have read somewhere that 50 billion connected devices today. Data is growing at the rate of, every year we are creating as much data as we have cumulative done till the preceding years. You have, analytics, which has really taken off. And so since you're collecting more data, you have better algorithms today, and you have more computing power, most of your gains are going to come from analytics. So that's where the low-hanging fruits are, and that's where companies should focus. And finally, the fourth consultant was saying that, look, there is something called digital, a pilot purgatory. You have pilots, but you are not able to scale them. So you have small subscale shining toys, but they don't come into one whole that really transforms your business. And they were saying that Net Promoter Score, so NPS stands for Net Promoter Score, is what will help you to drive, from 1,000 points of digital light to really the person who pays your salary, which is the customer. And I've always believed that the company does not pay your salary. It's a paying customer who pays your salary. And that brings us to this. So this was our concept of what we meant, that we needed to do all these four. And these have been our guiding light, or our guidelines and guardrails, so to speak, of business transformation in digital era. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, there's a Dr. Rakesh who has raised his hands. Yeah, Dr. Rakesh.
So during the question and answer session, we'll solve the problem, sir.
Sorry?
So during question and answer session, we will discuss about the problems, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so that brings me to the second thing that I have believed on strategy. So there are various definitions of strategy. Strategy is about having a vision, a purpose, a mission, then, creating a set of strategic objectives, a set of strategic challenges and strategic advantages. And then you see how you are going to use your strategic advantages to overcome your strategic challenges and hence meet your strategic objectives, right? But what I have found very simple to do is strategy to me is three golden questions. First is where to play. At any point of time in your life, if you're defining you want to be happy, you want to be contented, you want to be productive, you want to be efficient, you want to play in a game. Just think about a game of football. You decided to play a game of football. So you decided where to play football. How to win? You're going to use your backs, your goalkeeper, your forwards, depending upon what resources you have, depending upon how much you know the opponents, depending upon the conditions in the field, you will create a strategy. So you'll either play long passes, or you will try to stifle in defense, or you will try to play counter attacks, or you'll look at set pieces. And then you want to know the scoreboard. Are you winning or not? So whenever you go to a cricket match, what do? The first thing you want to look is you want to know the score, who are playing each other and who is winning. And then what do you do based on what the outcome is? You go back to a better way to play or a how to win. And those decisions can be at a very large area. For example, you're doing your MBA right now. So you had decided that where do you want to play? You want to create a corporate life. You wanted to be retired as a CXO of a company, or you may have entrepreneurial ambitions. You decided that how to win. You decided to do the MBA in a top college. Based on your choices, you landed up in ICFAI. And now you're you're saying, okay, where to play? The world has changed a bit. So some of you are doing remote internships. Some of you are coming on a Sunday and listening to this talk. Some of you must be doing and certifying yourself in other courses. Some of you are reaching out to mentors and other people on LinkedIn. Some of you are trying to ask your professors what to do. Some of you may be even recalibrating your life goals, saying, look, the world's like this, I'm better off maybe running a podcast for NGOs, right? So the question of how to win, the where to play and how to win is a constant one that you often make subconsciously. All I'm trying to say is that try to see if you can make those choices consciously and try to see if you can understand whether you're winning or not. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Yeah, hello. Okay.
Akhilesh, next slide, please. Yeah, Akhilesh, next slide, please. Hello, Akhilesh.
Sir, I'm changed the next slide.
Okay, it's taking a bit of time then to come. That's okay. You are going to the slide on the evolving digital script, right? Okay. Yeah, now you're on the next slide. All right. Okay. So now if you see, one of the things we realized is that if you want to win, you need a good script. Think about a good play. A good play or a good movie has a very good script. It's the script guides how the screenplay would be. The script guides the kind of characters. The script guides who would be the target audience. The script is guiding how do you relate or narrate to the target audience, right? So when we started this journey 4 years back, we had a lot of fight. What is IT? What is digital? What is digital? What it is not? What should digital be? Is Facebook digital? What does Facebook have to do with an industrial company like Tata Steel? All of those questions were very, very valid. Some were articulated, some were not articulated in people's minds, right? And one of the things that we did was at that time, we came up with this thing called script. We said that anything which is scalable, which means it's network, platform thinking, the cost of bringing one more person onto it is zero or close to zero. Something which is connected, which means machine to machine, people to people, and people to machine connections are seamless. What is rapid, which means agile, you do things fast. Intelligent, which means that the description, what happened, prediction, what is likely to happen, and prescription, what should happen, comes from the platform itself. Personalized, which was customization. For example, your Facebook account today knows who you are and feeds you content about your friends, feeds you content about people you are likely to know, feeds you content about things you are likely to engage with. And finally, technology was IT OT integrated, which means that there is operations technology, technology that runs a plant, and there is IT technology. For example, we are right now on IT technology, the platform called Zoom. But the PLCs, the DCSs, which run a plant, are operations technology. So in our case, it needed to be IT OT technology integrated because we are an industrial company. The larger point here being that your script has to evolve. Today you can't be playing Sholay. Sholay was a great script. I've seen Sholay 40 times. But would I see Sholay 41st time? Answer is probably no. And would somebody today really relate to Sholay the way my generation or the generation preceding it did? Answer is probably no. People would be much more happier waiting for, say, Transformers 6. At least today, I am also waiting for Transformers 6. And so the script needs to evolve, and what got us here will never get you there. So the things that made you successful so far are not typically the things that are likely to make you successful hereafter, right? So in order for that to happen, you need a new script. And so Tata Steel has come up with its own script now. We are saying we need startups because they're going to bring us new business models. They're faster, they have more energy. They demonstrate greater purpose for a smaller and a niche cause, which we need. The other thing is that, today it's all about cognition because it's the age of artificial intelligence. You need integrated business insights from that. You can't have pools and fragments of data. Then cybersecurity is big. I don't know if you know, but the cybersecurity cost to the world is more than $800 billion. The cybersecurity market is $250 billion. So you would rather be a thief than a police because the thief market is 3.5, 4 times the police market. But you need to be resilient. The young and the old are principally vulnerable. The reason is that the old are not likely to know, the young don't care, or they're careless. And that's where hackers and advanced persistent threats and people who are ransomware, malware, objectionable content for children, etc., is growing rampantly, and we need to be very, very careful. Intelligent and innovative. I would rather change intelligent to innovative here, because it's a world of innovation. We need to do more with less. We need to do different things. We need to make new business models. We need to invent new things. You would have seen what's happening on how Maruti and Mahindra are trying to create ventilators in a very short period of time. And what are they doing? They're using the export licenses that they have, or the capabilities that they have, to create the boxes and the flanges. They are using the intelligence from the sensors of the auto cars to replace those of the aerospace as well as the medical ones. And they are trying to create ventilators in a very short period of time with 70% indigenous components. Platforms is the way the world is going. So, you have platforms everywhere. You have Google, which is a search platform. You have Facebook, which is a social platform. You have WhatsApp as a instant messaging and a social platform. You're seeing what Jio is doing in terms of putting the 4 C's of commerce, content, channel, and carrier together. And I can talk about it later if any of you have questions. And then, of course, talent, because human beings don't work. Teams work and human beings work. Machines don't work. And at the same time, there is the future of work which is coming up, which is man, machine, and cyborgs. I don't know if you know, but there is a guy called Neil Harbisson. Check Neil Harbisson out. He's the world's first cyborg. Also, I would request all of you to check out on internet Dawn Cafe Beta. I happened to meet the owners on a flight and had a very intelligent conversation with them, which was also a bit intriguing. Again, if somebody is interested in the question and answer session, I could touch upon those 2 anecdotes. So I'll move on from here. The point is very simple. You need a digital script. You need a script. We are living in a digital era, so we have a digital script. And we're currently working on our digital script 3.0, where some of the script things are again beginning to change. S is coming up for sustainability. C is coming up for collaboration. I is coming up for, and I forget what. So I will have to again relook at the script. I'm still at script 2.0. All right, so we'll move on. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, can we?
Yes, sir. I changed the slide.
Okay, it's still not come up, but I'm hoping it would. So I'll still start. So the next section, we are looking at the Ashiana story. While the slide comes up, what I'll